Democrats are portraying this week's Democratic National Convention as a changing of the political guard. President Joe Biden is expected to give a keynote speech with a symbolic handoff of his party leadership. Vice President Kamala Harris riding that momentum since he dropped out from the race. She and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, kicked off their bus tour in Pennsylvania. They talked to voters in the critical swing state just one day before the Democratic convention. And on the eve of the convention, though, thousands of protesters took to the streets in downtown Chicago. The protest was organized by an organization that fights for abortion access and LGBTQ rights. Fox's Peter Ducey is at the convention headquarters in Chicago ahead of tomorrow's events.
Top Harris surrogates want to make sure people watching the convention know the economic proposals are Democratic, not communist.
I don't think there's anything communist about wanting to make housing more affordable and prescription drugs more affordable.
The Washington Post editorial board writes, the Times demand serious economic ideas. Harris supplies gimmicks. Price gouging is not causing inflation, so why is the vice president promising to stamp it out?
So you think it's smart policy, Governor?
You know what, I think that any effort we make to keep more money in Americans' pockets is worth walking the path.
4 nights, 4 themes in Chicago. For the people, a bold vision for America's future, a fight for our freedoms and for our future. Despite the lack of specific policy proposals, the Harris team says a lot more money is coming in now than it was for Biden.
The money was drying up. Without money, there's no firepower.
Recent polling reflects steady momentum for Harris and Walz.
I think that this is a moment for us as an organizer. I think about it this way. This is what I call organizer gold.
Protest organizers outside the convention are getting 270 groups together to protest the party's support for Israel aid.
Tomorrow is what we're calling the event of the season.
The convention's host, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, believes his state is prepared.
I expect that we're going to have peaceful protests. We're going to protect the protesters, but also protect all the people visiting, 50,000 people coming to Chicago, and the residents of Chicago.
However, protesters are warning police not to redirect their march.
If the city does not agree at step off, we will march the route, and listen, we have a philosophy in Chicago that the numbers dictate what the route is.
High above this convention floor, in the rafters where Bulls and Blackhawks players have their jerseys retired, there are already nets filled with tens of thousands of inflated balloons ready to drop on the 4th and final night here. In Chicago, Peter Ducey, Fox News.